I am late. And yes, that was not great. But anyway, I do have to just get this saved to an internal drive, as the USB drive it was on is pretty slow. So it seems to save reasonably quick to this, whichever one it is. I've probably chosen the slowest of my internal SSDs. But anyway, here's something I've just been working on. The eye is a little better. Like, I've been trying to get a good design for the eye, which is here. So you see the one on the right, that was just a quick sketch. This was me trying to extract the absolute most from the resolution of the reference. And I mean, I did look at a chibi image briefly, a Gakupo chibi image, and I think I'm getting where this is going. Now, the eye curves around like this, vaguely. I mean, I know there's only so much I can do. This looks decent. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I will have to do a little bit of smoothing out on these lines, I think, to make it look right, but if it's not exact to the reference, I think it'll work. It just has to be close enough. And there we go. Is that good enough? I hope so. You see, like, here we have that's going to need to go round like so to match up. I mean, this is just something I was doing this morning. I thought, hey, I'm going to try and get this working. So I've not spent the longest. I just had this image, this Miku image here, and so I thought, hey, I'm looking at a Gakupo chibi, and it's not even of Gakupo. So where have we got with this? Okay, so that seems to go down. It looks correct, but then we look on the other side. Yeah, so it seems to have varied. I think what might be going on, look at this. It may have ended up being kind of stretched by the, what do you call it, the compression. So it may actually go more. I mean, I don't know, probably not. It's probably just an art style thing, but still. I want this to make sense. So we're going to go switch corner. Hopefully this will, again, look recognisable enough. Maybe if I go like this. That looks a bit more like it probably should. So we've got like this natural kind of curve here. And I'm not going to say for certain this is how it's supposed to look, but actually maybe I don't want to switch corner there. Maybe I'm better off just having this rounded and like flowing. So I did actually have something like this on the Sakura design I did, and it worked. So it like went, it swooped. You know, having it, having the eyebrow cut off, or eyelash cut off, halfway up the eye, it just doesn't look right. So we're gonna split that line, and we can go delete this. Well, I could probably use delete on the key dial. Yeah, that's working. I mean, the volume key is like just my test, because before it wasn't working. It was like I hadn't aligned the keys up. So we've got our pen here, which I can actually put in the pen holder there. Everything has moved around. I think I'm just about getting used to this setup. Different PC as well. So yeah, I can hear that without the headphones on, but that is a lot quieter now. And the Quadro should be capable of a lot more. I mean, we're looking at a 2018 Quadro, and it was a 2016 Radeon, but this is a much bigger, beefier card. Despite its age, it's got 16 gigabytes of video RAM, so shouldn't see any problems with this. I was using it for gaming at 4K actually fairly recently. It's better than you might think, and this isn't even the top of line Quadro 8000 of its era. That was a complete monster. I mean, there was the 5000, the 6000, and the 8000 RTX Quadros, and they were all launched around about the same time. I think they were the range of higher end Quadros of the time, either 5000, so not the highest end, but it's still like of the high end range of cards. I don't have the software up now. Like, I would like to have my performance metrics, but you know, I only had so much time to set this stuff up. I will try and align everything. I do also have stream avatars, which I haven't connected for some reason, and the music as well. You know, I'm just forgetting this stuff, so just bear with me. I mean, that's why I'm late as well, because Mainly the eyes, and then time just snuck up on me. And I'm just not used to streaming from this place. But it's going to work, I feel, better than before. This display in front of me is better than the one I was using before. So that's something. Stream avatars, yes, they should be up. Sakura is kind of tall because I haven't adjusted any of the scaling on this machine. It's a totally different machine, as I say. I would not fit a Quadro 5000 in the other machine. I actually do have something I could show because you can't see the PC. I had in one of these drawers the like documentation that came with the original MSI tower, which I have modified, but yeah, things falling off. Yeah, so that's the documentation that I need to show. What's this? This is no, something else. It's somewhere. I think this is it. I think this is the box. Yes, it is. So, might as well. Actually, somehow I've got Lego in here. Anyway, we've got. This is actually the original power cord. I don't believe I use because I always have so many kettle leads. So it is a. This is a case MSI Infinite series, something or other. Hopefully I can get that in the light. That is the case I am using, but it's got an Acer motherboard now, so it has changed. It's kind of dark here. I mean, I do have a lamp somewhere. I mean, I think the camera's coping okay, but I'll probably get the lamp up. Yeah, that's it with a 1060, GTX 1060. I'm not sure how well this stuff is showing up, but probably not good on the bitrate, but this is all the stuff that originally came with it in like 2018. It's got regulatory notices. It's got the dust filter and stuff. You know, just I found this and I thought, hey, I'll show it because why not? That is the warranty card and everything. I'm not sure if there's anything else in here. I think it is just warranty information, a massive book of warranty information, which has expired now because I've owned this PC for quite a while. Anyway, thought it would just be an interesting thing to show because I have the original documentation for this case. So, oh, also, BlackBerry. This is actually an Android BlackBerry. It's got an OLED screen and everything. I can't really show, but there is a keyboard there. It like slides out. I mean, the battery kind of wears down quick on it, and I don't think there's a way to fix it, but it was a very good phone to me when it fully worked. And I am getting distracted. I digress. I do need to get the music I have got on in a moment, but I'm just getting focused on these eyelashes now. So I feel like I'm getting somewhere. It's not perfect, but I'm trying to get this close to the reference as I can, and it seems to be doing something. I can also pause that, so it's not using on one bitrate. The current bitrate is low. Right, so I think this has a pretty decent Wi-Fi card built in. It's actually got the Wi-Fi card that came with the MSI machine, but it's in this different board now. The MSI board being the one that was in the other PC, but this is a 10th gen with an i9. Just generally more powerful, although the memory only runs at 2400, not 2666. It's just strange like that. So we'll go 3000 kilobits per second. There we go. So 3000, if this works, it should give me much better quality in general on the stream. And then we can cue the music. I can find the start of it. I did try and level this, so in terms of like level audio and make sure it's the right volume. I can always adjust that in OBS. I've got OBS right here, so that's the thing. I could see if the 8-ball is working, because I haven't tested that. Kind of loud on my end, so I think that's about the right volume. I can raise it. Yeah, just you'll probably see the volume. That's just me adjusting it for the headphones. This does actually have good audio quality from the front headphone port. I normally don't have that on my systems because something goes wrong with the build and the front audio never ends up sounding good. So that's actually a positive kind of side effect of changing. Oh dear, don't tell me. Are you working? Yeah, I can do that with a pen. Apparently it's just like hanging there somewhere. So yeah, I think I know what to do actually. So it's the Huion software. I can show this. I think no. It'll show everything on Move a Display if I go on working area. I don't want to do that. So I just changed the working area. I can like lower it a little. So yeah, that's a working area. I mean, hopefully that's showing. And that's showing that I just line it up to that monitor. So yeah, that's going to be lined up to that monitor now. It's just odd like that. I mean, Sakura should be free eventually. There we go. So I feared I was going to have to mess with the USBs, and I have managed to like crash the PC by messing with the USBs. It's mostly pretty stable. I can feel pretty sure I can take a stream with it, but I don't want to go plugging and unplugging stuff because there's some high voltage USB, wedge USB ports, and they're great for powering stuff, but I feel like if I plug stuff in wrong, the machine just doesn't like it. The front USB ports are from the MSI, so the whole case is an MSI case. I haven't got the RGB working again, although I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that. I'd like to do that someday. It's not ultimately that necessary. I mean, I've not got the side panels on even, because I did just want to get this ready enough to stream. So everything's in place, but it's not got every part in to make this a fully aesthetically beautiful machine. I do need to do the ears as well, so that would be different. Basically, the eye though as well, and the eyelash here. I'm going to try getting this, well, I would say left. It's actually the right eye. So I'm going to try getting this to look good, basically. There we are. Just, okay, so is this... If I'm seeing this correctly, it looks like it could go a little higher. Maybe finish a little earlier in. Is that working? I do not know. There we go. I think I can move that in a little. Yeah, I mean, I like slimmer eyelashes, but then that's probably not how it's meant to be on the original design, and I do want to honour that a little at least, so it kind of looks like the design was originally meant to be designed. There we are. So, yeah, I mean, I do tend to hyper-focus on this, and it has its advantages, but it means I don't do anything else all that well. I do know there was one thing I saw on the other side, actually, and it was actually kind of like leaks, because Miku, I guess. I think it was like on all characters, though. It's just, that's what they remind me of. So it kind of went out. I think I need to perhaps switch corn. Does that work? Or is it too sharp? I think it's too sharp. I think I just need to add a vector point, which is the alternative I was thinking of. I'm hoping I can get some decent work done on this. So if we drag that... There we go. I don't hate it. Again, I can't 100% follow the reference here. Because as you'll see here, I'm pretty sure that's just like glitching, if I'm not wrong. Because the bitrate is so low, basically, it guesses. basically like YouTube or the PC on the end decoding the video, or whatever's going on there, it just guesses what's supposed to line up with what. Which is going to make this harder, but I think I've done a decent job of like stabilising the whole thing. I've had to take some artistic liberties, but I believe this looks enough like the original that it's not going to hurt anyone. If it does hurt anyone, then I would wonder why. Because why are you letting a video hurt you? That's not even the original. And that I'm not claiming it's the original, it's my version of it. I do feel I need another vector point here. Just something about how that is. There we go, and I'm not quite liking this. I don't know if that's good or not, honestly. I feel like maybe I could add another vector point here. Just, it seems adding another vector point here and there can make things look a lot sharper without completely taking the smoothness out of the image. I feel like actually... yeah, sure, let's just add another. I don't like having too many vector points, but in this case you do need a few vector points to line everything up and make it look good. There we are. You see, this is just my mind doing mind things. I want it to look really smooth. I mean, this character in general doesn't have many sharp edges on the design. That's just how I designed her. Orella has a lot more sharp edges. You see, this isn't exact, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of where I've gone with the hair. But I'm pretty happy with this eyelash. I think maybe one thing I could do... I'm just going to use the mouse for this because of what I'm doing. I don't think there's much advantage to using the pen. I'm scared of touching the key dial because... things. I do feel also like I'm just making this too long. So where does it go on the reference? So it does actually kind of go down. Just not as much as I am. I can make that work, and that's like relatively close to the original. Just adding vector points to make up for my lack of artistic talent in lining stuff up. Did I click save? I don't think so. It's just it was taking some time. I think to this internal drive it should save fairly quickly. It's not the fastest, but anyway. Yeah, it's saved. There we go. It was pretty slow on the USB drive, but I've learned to expect that. Either being a USB 3 flash drive. Flash drives are just nowhere near as fast as a actual either spinning drive or SSD, I guess, because spinning drives can still be kind of fast, even a 5400 RPM one. It's just once you start loading all the Windows files and programs on and stuff, they don't cope so well anymore. But just as like data drives, spinning hard drives can still be reasonably quick. Naturally, if you're working with a lot of 8K video, you will want an SSD of some description. But for stuff like this, even at the higher resolution, I am using 3720 by 17280. In this, it is it is going to be necessary. I don't remember exactly what this res is. I think it's 24K if I remember correctly, which is the maximum DaVinci Resolve can process. You can export via single frames of an animation on Clip Studio. That's what I'm relying on. I think it maxes out at 1080p, maybe 4K if we are looking at the overall export resolution, but still. Okay, I'm fairly happy with this. I think if I can sharpen up this edge a little, not a huge amount, just make it a little sharper like that. Maybe lower that even. There we go. I think that does okay. Looks like a little fork to me. For some reason. It probably doesn't to anyone else. But still. I've got some drop frames. It says YouTube is not getting enough video to maintain smooth streaming. The frame drops are not too bad on this. There has been frame drops. I'll know what it's saying just a little and I'll give it 2900 kilobits per second because 2900 is a little lower. I've used it before. I don't like having it this low, but there we go. Stream's bitrate is lower, so it's not saying it's having issues anymore. It seems comfortable at 2900, but that's about as far as I can push it, and it's still below the lower recommended bitrate for YouTube, so I can't say I'm too happy about that. I did need to try this. I think I've got two commands. Let's see if they work. Now I've changed system. I did try and sync it on Steam, so it should have moved everything across. It certainly did that with the Sakura avatar, which you can see on the screen. I hope. Guycoin. It doesn't seem to have brought that up. There might be some delay. I love this keyboard. It was just the one I had on this desk already, but... Ah, now it's recognised the Guycoin. I'm sure I had almost 1,000 before. What happened to my Guycoins? Like Bitcoin, but worthless. Yes, I don't doubt it. Good. You are functional. So good to see my commands are still working as I entered them on the other machine. Because I've not redone this on this machine or anything. Although the delay on Guycoin is a bit odd. It didn't delay Sakura too much. But yes, everything is working and that's good to know. There, that eye is done. No, it isn't. I mean, I'm going to work with this left eye. Like, I'm not just doing this for the time being. But in seriousness, it just needs to have that done. So, we've got SF1. I'm going to just not erase it, I'm going to hide it for now. So we've got the ears, I believe, on the first frame. Not that one, but on here. Because this is what I'm going to use as reference. So if we go SF1 final, make that about 50%, so we should be able to see it. There is other bits I need to erase, I can do that later. Not sure I like these ears. Something looks off about the angle all in general though. It's not like the ears themselves are the main issue here. What is the issue is... It just seems like I could rotate the whole ordeal and have it actually work. Do we want to select that lower part as well? That looks a little better already. Just, it was almost there, but looking back... Yeah, just really focusing on this right now. So, there we go. Apparently this desk makes me put my hand there when I'm focusing. I wasn't doing that before. Alright, so there's things here. I could try and adjust that. I'll add a vector point because this is just quite clearly not as rounded off as it should be. These are the whole size of these. I don't know if I'll align it with a first frame or something, or the last frame. I honestly don't know too much. I feel like they're too high up on the body, if I'm honest. I feel like they could go lower, but then at the same time, I believe that's more accurate to the original design. It's just my mind saying, oh no, they need to be more extreme. They don't. This is what I did with the eyes, basically. I used the circle tool originally, and I don't think I want to do that. Because in the other frame, I put so much effort into just perfecting them. So we've got that. I don't know about these ears still. I feel like almost they should be rotated a bit more. Should they? You know what I think also? I think that'll be worse that way. So, at least these are actually pretty easy to select. You'll notice this line goes a bit odd, but it's because of the shape of the ears why these edge lines don't quite look as normal as other cat ears. They don't fall that way, and there is a little vector thingy that's just left. So can I? Yes, I can. I can use the arrow keys. That is good. Actually, I should. Oh, yes. It works. I did enter the arrows to the key dial. So we've got that. Bit of pivot, maybe. Yeah, about as little pivot as I can get. That'll do. I think maybe a bit lower. There we go. I think I've got them about as good as they're going to move. So we've got the hair moving here. I just gave up on that eventually. For now at least. And I've still got more drop frames, which I'm not liking. Excellent connection though on YouTube now. Why is this dropping frames? It's more powerful than the other system. Apart from RAM speed, which shouldn't really affect me all that much. I mean, could probably stream on DDR3 memory. If I could somehow get Windows 11 on. Or even use Linux. Like I have before, actually. I don't know how much I was dropping frames. Probably horrendously. Or I was just using a pitiful bitrate and kind of getting away with a Core 2 Duo stream. That was when I recorded my writing and stuff such. Yeah, I don't know about these shoes. They are green on the base. Which I might not predict, but you know, with cherry blossom petals being green and white and pink, they are what colours I've used. So that is the template, yes. The eyes can all be redone, okay? So I'm going to try and bring in the Miku references. I was hoping to today get it all together, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. It depends if I need these references, and now I'm more thinking of maybe I do. Although I could bring the other stuff in. I think once I've got that one eye done though, I think it'll be easier to just like resize and maneuver it and stuff into place. So I don't know how long that will take. Oh yeah, so what was I saying though? I did miss it just at that moment. I was saying earlier, very short while ago, should I say, yeah, this indeed. That does not need to be there. I mean, I'll try and colour and that'll just make it a nightmare because I'll be trying to colour around something I can't really colour there. I don't know how to explain it. Me not explaining well. So there you go. So the eye's looking like straight out of the camera when the body is supposed to be rotating. That's not going to work. So yeah, is that yeah, the skirt trying to make it look like it actually moves as well. The ears are here. Again, I just see smaller differences I can change. I by no means need to do this, but I'm also on SF1, which I don't want to be. I want to be on this one. There is like adding them to the animation folder. Yeah, immediately I can see the issue here. Although, granted, I did put some attention into putting them on the first frame and then the second frame here, which I might not have just bothered with. I can either use these arrow keys or I can use these arrow keys. Right, to be honest, the 90s Dell keyboard feels better, so the 90s Dell keyboard is what I'm going to use to adjust them. Well, that would be the case. I didn't select that. You know, at this point, it's easier to just undo it and then... The shift is easier to reach on the key dial, because I can just tap it with my thumb. You can't see it, but I can just, like, hit it with my thumb. Whereas I'd have to reach like all the way over here to get the shift key, or I'd just go rack the thumb down and hit it on the key dial, and that's a lot easier. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, you can't see the key dial because the mic is here. I just stuck the camera on top of the mic for the time being, which is why. I mean, I don't know if you can even hear the Dell board, but it's certainly not in the microphone's really optimal range of capture. Love these crunchy noises. I don't love the crunchy picture quality of the reference image, but I love those crunchy noises of that 90s keyboard. As far as I know, nothing quite matches it. I mean, I've got this really cheap mechanical keyboard, which is actually probably my second favourite. I did not expect that to be as nice to type on as it was. It's not even got cherry switches. It's got mechanical switches, but not cherry ones, and that just feels nicer than I ever expected it to feel. I was honestly just buying it because I was curious, is that an actual mechanical keyboard and not a scam? Because the site didn't seem like a really unreputable, dodgy site. You know, it's I think it was Scan Computers or something like that. It wasn't like a really dodgy site, but I had to see, is this like just advertising nonsense or is it actually mechanical? And it was actually mechanical. I've got the mouse actually somewhere nearby that came with it. Yeah, so £17 came with a mouse as well. Not a great mouse, but it came with a mouse. And that I was like, that can't be a mechanical board of that money in this day and age. It was, and it felt far better than I ever expected. I mean, another thing I actually noticed, though, not just with that, but with a lot of the keyboards you can buy nowadays, is actually these screws on them. Usually on the underside of a board like that. You can tighten them. Like, even from the factory, they just don't come fully tightened. And I mean, I'm not saying tighten them to a point it's going to break the plastic. Just, like, move the screwdriver a little on each screw. You can tighten the whole keyboard up. And on some boards, that stiffens them up really nicely so they just don't flex. Little random life hack I've learned. As I say, I'm not saying turn the screwdriver really tightly, especially if it's brittle older plastics, but just tighten each screw a little. I did it on this one Dell board from about 2003. Again, not being really aggressive with the screwdriver, and just making sure it was a bit tighter. It went from like flexing like that to flexing like that. So we're still flexing the board, but it's far nicer to type on now than it always was in the past. I believe I might have that on my other stream where I was doing the writing a while ago. That's got the volume dial and everything. That was, I think I paid like £1 or £2 for it, 150. I don't know. It was very good for that money. Like, I like my 2000s membrane keyboards. Everyone likes saying they're mushy. Have you actually used a modern Apple keyboard? It's not mushy, but that just feels horrible. It feels like you're prodding something and not getting any feedback whatsoever off it. This Dell keyboard is really nice. I don't think you can see it here. Is it showing up at all? No. Just not with how I've got the camera at the moment. So I might have cropped it so it doesn't show up anymore. But Yeah, I just don't think it's in there now. I can probably lift it a little, although I don't want to, like, whip it out of the PC or anything. That's my keyboard. And I've had this thing for like 9-10 years. And I've accidentally turned the graphics tablet off. Thankfully, the image is still there. You see, now it's not... it's not planted on the desk. Come on. I should not have lifted that. Yeah, you might hear the Windows noises going off. I'll have to do that again later. The thing is, the power button and the video tablet is like there. The keyboard went there. It's not even down properly anymore. I think that's secure enough. It's not going to move like too easily. So I'm going to leave it there. Is this... yeah. As I said, the key dial sometimes got messed up. I actually once had to take the USB-C out, turn it, and then plug it back in, and then it worked. It's strange. Very strange. Yeah, you see here the boots start making no sense whatsoever. So have I got Sakura Frame 3 as it is? Yeah, so that as it is. Sakura Frame 3 as it is. Again, just a little adjustment I feel, and these are almost there. I eventually just gave up putting them on their head at all, and then I gave up even copying and pasting the ears, because I knew, like, future me can deal with that. This is just something that has to be done. As I say, I'm going to have to get the Miku image, so I won't be able to put this all together until I have the Miku images, like, transferred for the eyes. And I'm not going to have to do, like, the whole eye thing. I've done that just before the stream, so... you know, so I have some semblance of how the eyes are supposed to look. Now, again, these don't have to be, like, a set number of pixels or anything. I mean, hair and stuff moves. The hair does not have to be exactly the same. But hopefully, at least by the end of this stream, if everything goes well, I can hopefully move these onto the animation layer, and then I should be able to start work on just making the animation flow. It's all smaller corrections though beyond that point, and then I can do the colour. So maybe next stream I will do the colour, but as things stand, you know, I've got a lot of smaller adjustments to do. Like, you see the hair's kind of angled there. It's not perfectly smooth. I can adjust that easily so it looks a little better, but anyway, you know, I get it, it's kind of a shortcut copying the ears, but drawing these ears is a pain. I kind of got lucky with these. It didn't take as long as it could have taken me, but I am just not good at drawing these ears. I mean, you'll see, I think the hairline and stuff is moving behind the ears. And I can adjust these lines if the angle changes significantly. But the face angle doesn't move that much, so it's not like, you know, it's going to be a really dramatic change. There we go. Yeah, this is what I was getting at. And then I don't know if they even put the ears on 5. I did! Okay, but there's like 5, maybe 6 frames where I bothered to even transfer the ears. Because it got to this point, like, there's so much to draw, so much to vector edit, that it just, it didn't work out as something I could do. This is actually one of those things, I'm enjoying it, because it's just a simple thing. It doesn't take loads of work. It doesn't take, like, loads of CPU power. I will save after I've positioned these ears, and then I will make sure after the stream that I've got my stuff backed up. So I feel like that's one benchmark I have. The ears should sit like just above the hair, and these corners, the ears should go a little higher. They are large ears. I mean, they probably don't need to be this large, and they don't even look like cat ears, but they are what they are. I like them, and isn't that sometimes what's important, that her artist likes his designs? They're meant to look like petals. Yes, I went insane like that. It's actually making the ears look like petals. I mean, I do see that though in other designs as well. Like, beings that are meant to look somewhat like animals without looking like animals. You see, like, I could create this entire design. I still can't draw animals. So, yeah. I mean, that's one thing. It's just, what need do I have to draw animals? Kind of thing. The story doesn't really have animal arcs. I mean, even then, if I desperately needed animal pictures from a story, I could probably just commission someone to do it. Or I could learn it, but it's like, it's a whole different process. And I mean, for stuff I have to learn to do these characters and to do this animation as well, there's a learning curve to this alone. So taking the time out to do that. Yeah, hair moving here, as you may be able to tell. But as I say, this is actually just a fairly relaxing thing. So if I go SF6, does that have ears? No, not on that one. Not on that one either. So I've just given up by that point. You know, I am ultimately just copying and pasting these and like moving them. There's not a whole lot to go on. And that is locked, that's why it's not letting me select it. So yeah, got the shift key. The thing is also, I'm going to have to hold down the shift key. And that I can do it with my left hand very easily. If I'm having to hold it down with the right hand, I would probably have to use a pen. Or just reach over it. Actually, there's a shift key on this keyboard. Does this work? Did I rotate that? Ah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I didn't rotate it. But I had to make sure, because if I'd messed up the line art, that would have caused me a whole number of nightmares. So I can use a shift key that is on this keyboard, but it's a bit more of a pain because of how I have to reach. I'll be just doing it now to demonstrate the fact that the idea works, but yeah, it's not going to always work. So actually, yeah, I can do that after. Just thinking I need to control C and control V here, which I have keys for. Save me doing the whole shortcut if I have them on the key dial, but now there we go. Like, I would say that maybe I could change the angle of these so there's like a bit more here and a bit less here. I think the core is getting the front of the ears positioned where they need to be, and then I can adjust the other bits, which will be smaller and easier to do. Did I say I was going to save it? I think I might have, and I didn't save it. Maybe a bit more rotation. Yeah, I think for some things, like using these arrow keys here is better than using these arrow keys on the key dial. But, yes, I know it's pronounced key dial, but I like pronouncing it key dial. But yeah, so using the arrow keys on the keyboard is better than using the little key dial keypad. Using the shift key on the key dial is better than using the shift key on the Dell keyboard. Yeah, just this entire move of systems was worth it for this keyboard. I mean, I really like this. Like, I've liked this keyboard for the entire 9-ish years I've owned it. 10 maybe? I don't know. It escapes me. 9 to 10 years I've owned this. I've always liked it. Many keyboards have come and gone. Few have gone. I keep my keyboards and change them around a lot. But yeah, just this is so nice. And this wouldn't have fit on the other system because of how I had everything set up. This has actually got a wall-mounted display now, which was here before, but I wasn't using it on the PC. This desk is actually smaller than the other one, but it's got no monitor on the desk, so I get more space in the grand scheme of things. And it also means I don't wobble the monitor. Like, I could kick this desk all I want. It's not going to do anything to a monitor. And I did deselect this, but I am going to... I said I'm going to save. It saves fairly quick here. I was saving onto the flash drive just before the stream started, and that took a while. So I kind of just got used to expecting that. I think this is my tertiary SSD, which is the third one. Yeah, I didn't hit save as, although it looked like that at first. So then we're going to go SF6. Control V. Yeah, it's like this is mostly transparent. I can still work with it. I will make it not transparent in the future. I will also make a mistake. You see what I've done here, which is a dum-dum move. I've also clicked save, almost clicked save S as well. Save as, I mean. Control S is save. Yeah, I didn't select this here, so I ended up with like very two-dimensional ears. Well, a very two-dimensional ear on the left. So I can probably make that 100 before I Control V. Anyway, so I have got improvement in usability at least from it. So I think this, I think the body is moving the other way. Somehow I seem better able to focus here. I mean, I don't know. I'll see really if this is advantageous in the long run. I'll get used to it anyway. But just this, as I say, this keyboard alone makes it worth the move. So, I mean, the hair is going to be adjusted. The hair is going to look pretty good, I think, once I've done the overall moving. Really focusing though so much I can't pay any attention to what's going on with the stream. Can use my mouth, but yeah. I mean, you'll probably see on the screen it's not a whole lot of movement, but I'm just paying such close attention to it. Paying such close attention to my tiny hand movements. I mean, I've got a decent mouse, but it's like connected to a USB hub switcher, which is what it sounds like. It's a USB hub and a switcher to 4 different USB devices. So if I wanted, I could run a different machine through here. The display is 4K though, so I would really want a GPU that can support that. I mean, hey, I've got an RX 470 that I'm not using currently. I think that does 4K 60, if I am not wrong. Now I'm kind of distracted, so I'll... Not entirely, but I'll go and have a look at that, actually. Does it support 4K? Because if I can stick that in my Core 2 Duo machine, that will actually enable me to run a Core 2 Duo at 4K, which would be kind of amusing. You know, it's shit from 2008 running at 4K. RX 470 max resolution. I think HDMI 2 is up to 4K 60 Hz, so you know, you need 2.1 for above that, but still. Uh, 2016. Wow, that did not feel like a 2016 GPU. 10% slower than the 480. That makes me just want to overclock my 470, to be honest. Why do they make the max resolution hard that I have to dig through an entire resolution to find it? I think it was a pretty good video card in its day. I remember I bought that when it was a new video card. I bought the 4GB version because it was a very tight case, and that was probably the best video card I could fit within the length constraints. And it did serve me quite well. It was an OEM Lenovo, so E73 if I remember correctly. AMG CGN4. I don't know, I think it might have been 3.0 on the other one. But I'm lost, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing that. I'm not going to accept whatever Google AI tells me. Good thing I'm not on Google. Maximum, well, okay, here I think is a sales site for one, and the preview says 5120 by 2880 pixels. So it should theoretically do 4K 60. I don't know. Like, why does this information have to be so hard to find? It's out there, it's readily available, but it should not have been as difficult to locate that as it was. I'd say I'm not going to trust these supposed AI summaries in the slightest, because they are almost always, without fail, wrong. So we've got Sakura Frame 6 here. Yeah, this here looks a bit blocky, but I don't know if that's just the angle I've put it at. I can add vector points and stuff later if I need to. It's one of those things, will anyone ever notice? And I mean, there's other smaller things I can adjust actually, like these petals on the belt. If they aren't perfect, I can always, yeah, like here, there's not enough on the end. With that being the case, I can adjust that later. It's a fairly small detail that it isn't going to make the hugest difference that I can't, you know, move on to adding the frames into the animation and then doing it. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to put them in the animation today on this stream, the way things are going, but I don't know, like, maybe things will change, maybe I will be able to, maybe I will just be able to do everything leading up to that and then just do it in my own time, but have them together in an animation. I would love to get them together, it's just not going to be necessarily the easiest thing to do. So we got that, yeah, could raise them a little up. I mean, I could have done that before, like just measure with my fingers vaguely where it's falling. But there's also other things like, does it look right? So that's somewhere around the correct amount. Looks a little lower on the left, personally. Is that... So I'm going to try... Okay, almost there. I think I need to tilt them back a little. So we're on SF7. We are getting on with it. Yeah, slight tilt there. Got to pivot. Am I doing this correctly? I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing anything correctly, but I just hope I am. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess that'll do. I'm not too happy with it, but what am I supposed to do to make this work better? I mean, I thankfully don't seem to need to lock letters. Oh. So that ear's going to half be covered anyway. I don't think I'll make too much difference. I just realised the hand was there. I was like so locked in and focused on the angles that it wasn't quite working as I'd hoped. It wasn't quite falling as I'd hoped. Control V. I get it. Like, this is a shortcut, but imagine me trying to redraw all these ears. I would fail. And I would also do that. But anyway. You know, I've tried drawing these ears many times before. I've always struggled with them. I mean, perhaps it's just my amateurish nature, but it's just one of those things. It can get better. I want to see how many Guycoins I have. Pivot that a little. So as I say before, I think the ears need to appear just above the head at their highest point, because we have to remember they're not on top of the head exactly. It's like the ears, if they start here, you know, they'll go up. Not here. If they start like here, they'll kind of go up, but they're actually there where they begin, kind of thing, which is slightly below the top of the head. So that's why we have things having to fall this way. Pivot that. Yeah, just get so focused. Now on both sides this is above. I like that. There we go. I do feel like I'm making good progress. So what, we're hourring in? No, we're getting more frame drops. But I think for the most part it's running fine. I mean, it's running as well as my streams usually do. Bitrate is lower. I mean, bitrate is low, but it runs as it runs. Things aren't always going to run perfectly. That's just how things go. I mean, at a push I could do 2 hours, but I don't know. I just want to get something substantially enough done on this stream. I honestly think this keyboard is making me more productive. Perhaps it's helped by the fact that I actually enjoy hitting the keys if I need to move this. So I don't feel like the feedback, even with the headphones on, so I can't really hear it that well. Even just the feel of it is lovely. So I feel like pivot that a little more. I don't know, it seems like you can't really pivot it at a midpoint, which I kind of get, but this is like, yeah, hitting the ultra precision level with the mouse. I'm through a USB hub though. It's supposed to be a decent laser mouse, but I don't know. It does have a light on it, which I don't think laser mice typically do. So I don't know, maybe it's an optical, and I was made to believe it's laser. It's nice though. I've been using this for a while. Yeah. We've got to, I mean, again, I'm unselecting these. I'm just thinking now, maybe. No, because at least it's not like the other one. I was paying so much attention to it and then turned out one ear was just going to be completely hidden and you wouldn't see a whole lot of it. Yeah, there we go. Don't want to miss that again. I've done that once. Select that. Control C to copy. I mean, I've got a key. I think I might have shown it before. I'm not going to move that. I don't know how temperamental this is at the moment. got USB, I think it's a USB 2 to USB-C connector. And then that is in the same hub as the keyboard and mouse. The starting adapter is good though. Wait, so I've got two SF9s. Ah, okay. So I've kind of messed this up though, like final was just off. So I kind of ended up drawing two versions, but then this ended up as Sakura frame final. And the other was just something that I don't want to get rid of. But yeah, okay. Then we can go Control V on there. You see, I have made attempts at the eyelashes before today. So we are just over an hour in. I still potentially have time to do the... What's it? Some of these are really rounded off. I don't think I like that. I think I prefer it to be a bit sharper, but I don't know. Like, I can probably get that working. My past self did do that for a reason, I would assume. Also, I think the head is kind of changing for high over time. That will need correcting, honestly. But as I say, when I've lined all the frames up, like one after the other, it would make sense. It will all make sense in due time. Yeah, I gotta get this razor-like focus. The ADHD focus, where you struggle to focus on anything else other than the task at hand. I am really leaning up on that now. But I can somehow talk. Mainly because of a different part of my brain, I guess, and what actually tells me to work. The part of my brain that tells me to talk is separate. Hyperthreading, and then the second thread is only used for that. So, okay, we've got 12 frames. That's why I've got 10.5. I believe I mentioned it, I think it was last stream. 10.5 ended up being a thing because I just kept... I had this missing frame, which... It was hard to, like, redraw and stuff without any template. Like, I made a brief template to kind of turn it from Miku into Sakura. Yeah, it was a bit harder than that, but even without it, I kind of managed to get by. So, we've got 3 more frames to do with these ears. I mean, if we take 5 minutes per ear, per set of ears, should I say, we will be done in a timely fashion. And I've copied them to the wrong layer. I want SF10 final. I thought something was off. It took me too long to realise what was actually off. But yeah, the joys of vector layers, you can copy a set of vector lines like this, and then just paste them directly into the other layer. I do like that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, you see, now these are a lot more overhead. I did notice that sometimes... Oh dear. I mean, one thing I'm noticing though... Wait, why is SF10? Okay. I'll merge that with a layer below. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was locked or something. Maybe it was invisible and it didn't like copying it. I'm seeing something happening here, so SF9 final. Yeah, it's not totally off, but I feel like SFA, okay, some of these, the hairline kind of raised up, which is not going to make things easiest. I did catch it, I think, soon enough, but now there is a way I've done this before. Ah, my love of vector lines. You see, this hair is messy. I like it to be like more, what do you call it, evenly distributed. No! I don't know. I was able to do it before though, like I grabbed this stuff and I just moved the selected vector points down, and it's not been the tidiest, but for a work in progress it works, because here we have the hair. There we go. Because it's supposed to slightly cover the top of the eyes, I believe. So if I have that too high, it's just not going to be consistent at all. I think that might be too low. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I'm just trying to kind of make this work. It looks better. Like, as I say, it doesn't have to be a set number of pixels above. Yeah, I think I said 5 minutes. I don't know if it's been more 5 minutes. More than 5 minutes for the setup. It is. Fine trickery. I mean, I could try the pen. Does the pen give me more precision? No, it just deselects everything. Anyway, where does he sit? Is that, I don't know, is that correct? I think either says like camp to this side or will be done. There we go. I just had to tilt that so slightly, and I think it's almost done. Again, we have the arrow keys for fine adjustments. Maybe a bit more cant. I believe this is moving it by pixels, just to be clear. So it's moving like 5 pixels up. Maybe you can't see this on the how it's playing, but I certainly can. I will likely return to this later on, as I say. I mean, if I stream once every week, I have an entire week to sort this. If not now, I will have this ready to animate in like for frames, with sorting everything out by next week. So it will happen sooner rather than later, I think. Some things just take a little bit of time. This whole drawing has taken so much time now, but I'm happy with it. No colour, but I think the colour is going to be fine. Because, well, what I can do with a colour that will save a load of time, basically, just use an absolute black or absolute white and the opacity setting, because I believe with traditional paintings and stuff, you do need to use variations of colour. But here's the thing, black or white, if you use the opacity properly, it does just like darken or lighten the colour. So maybe it's not the ideal solution, but you know, if you take, I don't know, what's it, Cherry Blossom Pink, which is a very bright colour, and you just add black in a varying amount, you'll get a darker version of that colour as it brings it down. And by absolute white, absolute black, I mean like 255 RGB, which is the highest values you can get on all three, and then naturally 000 for black. That is a simplest way of doing shading and stuff, but I think I can still get a good result. I've done it before where I don't want to spend ages on it, but I want a good result. It works. So there we go. Ah, yeah, I see that. The new eyelashes. That looks like it hangs down a little more, but in general, that looks actually like correct hair. I mean, I could have done worse. The petal-shaped hair. To go with the petal-shaped ears. Because, of course, I had to go this far. The ears actually kind of put the hair into perspective, I think, where the hair should be positioned and stuff. How long have we got on the music? Because I think it's about 2 hours. So yeah, we got loads of time on that. More than we have stream. I should not be allowing myself to get distracted from this. Yeah, so these do need to be rotated more, actually. I wasn't thinking this originally, but I do think it now, so let's do a bigger move. As I say, the ears are all canted inwards, but I can adjust these edge angles here. They are all vectors, which makes that easy enough to do, but it's easier to far easier to copy the ears than try and redraw them. And honestly, it may get me a better quality result, because if I have to rush to do these ears over and over again, these set of ears, and reusing them with a few smaller vector manipulations, this is going to be the better result for quality as well. Sometimes I do just have to call it. Like, I can't go any further with trying to make this more perfect. I mean, it's an animation anyway, who's going to notice when it all goes by so quick? I feel like I would, because I just obsess over details. So I notice details a lot more than normal people would. Although, I don't know. I feel like now people notice with all the AI stuff and the details they always miss, or always do poorly. Yeah, I mean, it's like, if AI can try and scrape this, but they'll get things like that, which are just not finished and not worth stealing. And then you'll have, fake Sakura staring at you judgmentally. I mean, isn't that what my art stream is? Art stream image is saying. I drew that in 6 minutes. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. That's why I shouldn't even have ears, because I didn't give myself the time and I didn't care enough to do it. But I still drew minutes, and I mean, how long do these AI prompts take? So even if I did use that, I'd just be burning time. Something looks off about the shoulders, I don't know. I can go back in, like I've got the Miku reference here. Ah, I think I know what's actually here. I can fix that now. It's because how I took the reference, I didn't respect the shoulders actually go down. Like, that's not ideal, but it's better than it was. You get the idea where the neck is actually pointing now, kind of. At least it's not as bad as it was. I think he might be taking more than 5 minutes per ear. Might be taking longer now, I don't know. So, what time are we on? 1:17. Hours, minutes, I don't know. Darn it. So just check I've not got... Yeah, I have. There we go. I just wanted to make sure because I did copy and paste that like in place and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to copy it and then paste it onto a different layer. Because this is just shift key and then selecting multiple vector lines. Control C. And so we've got 10.55, sorry, 11. Yeah, so this is the 12th frame, but just instead of messing up like my flow, I just had 10.5 as a frame. It's not like anyone's gonna see that when it's finished and playing through the animation, and it makes enough sense to me if I come back to this in a few years or something. Like, I would be slightly confused, why is there 10.5 and not 11.12, but I don't think it's going to be too confusing. Unless I do in-betweens. Then I might have to rename the whole thing. Which I can do. So here we see the character pointing that way, definitely not like that way or that way, so we can see a change. With the eyes, I could theoretically do what I do here, although I will have to tweak them, because if I don't tweak those eyes at all, it just won't look right. But with some tweaking, I can probably get it working. I mean, I don't like it when I end up deselecting this and I didn't mean to deselect it. Yeah, the head is a bit of an awkward shape here. I will fix that, as I say. I'm just trying to follow the references I have given myself and the references I've kind of been given. So, you know, in the case of the original. I mean, I didn't know I would have to change this so much because it is like just a remake of a video no one else bothered to remaster. So ultimately that, but I did use my own characters and that has added to the strain of the whole thing. Slightly higher up, I think. 1, 2, 1. No. One, two, one, two, one. There we go. Sound like an AI now. Just ones and zeros and all that. I think like that. There we go. All of the ears I think are done. Again. It happened again. At least, I was working on the correct ears and stuff, so just... If I go... Merge with... I can't merge with layer below because it's invisible. There we go. Finally done. The 10.5 actually came around because I was like lining up the original images like this one, and that's why there's a question mark, because I'm like, is this the missing frame? It turned out it was. And that's what I had to actually replicate with here, because there's no template layer. Like you see SF11, it has this template layer I made before to give me an idea where the lines should go. No such thing for 10.5, so I had to kind of make it up as I go along. So the eye, I am pleased with. Mind you, I do have to just change this a little. Actually use a pen for this. There we go. Got the same thing basically here. I feel like I need another vector point actually, just to make sure this curve works. As I say, if not today, I will get these, if not here rather, I will get these together in the meantime. Actually, that'll probably look a little better if I rotate it. Again, I'm not using a reference here. Like, I've done that job. Now I'm just trying to make this thing work overall. So I can try and oh dear. It's just looking at that eye, it's slightly scary. At least I know how to draw hands. And these not proper hands. So that's one advantage. I have an idea I need to test. Let's see the conclusive answer to know if I have failed or not. So go Control C. Nope. Control V. there's got to be a way to flip this. I'm going to have to type it in because I can never remember this stuff. Oh dear, flip layer. Flip a selected area. That could work. Okay. I think I can make this work. So we'll lasso this. Hopefully if this works, I can just select this eye. And I can just make sure it's not above anything else. So if I do flip it, it's... if I do end up flipping like everything in that part of the image, it's not flipping anything to do with the character. I believe, wasn't there something like over the top, if I remember correctly? No, I'm not seeing it. Oh, it was a fan, wasn't it, on one of them? Like, I can try and lower the character, I think, somewhat, but... Was it 11? No. Somewhere like that. Worst case, that ends up going off screen like that. But I think this can be fixed, at least for the most part, if I just like slide the character slightly down, because you'll see there is a space above the feet. Like, I already started drawing the whole thing, and then I realised that was a problem with the resolution. But as I say, I think I can still have it recognisable as what it's supposed to look like, and not be the biggest deal in the world. Maybe I should also change that, because I don't think that needs to be dipped in. Maybe it does, I don't know. It depends if a hand is in front of it, behind the hair. Yeah, so I think that's the best I could do. Like, that's not at least impairing it the most amount. You can still tell the fan is there and it's like up there, even if it's not the clearest. It's only SF6 anyway that's got that issue. The others, it's all within the frame as it should be. I think it's just because I repositioned everything, and it was fine when I repositioned it, but then I realised that frame existed. Too late. And I mean, now I'm going to have to use that scale for the entire project. So where are we? I was on this. So that's the last frame, and that's kind of become frame 1 again. Yeah, I feel like that's not going to work so well. I can adjust that later. So... what was I doing? That. Sorry. Anyway, I need to flip this. There's got to be something. Scale or rotate. Ah, so it's over somewhere. There we go. Done. See, I found the information. I was trying to select just the vector layer, which I did kind of, but it was like selecting everything in that frame, not just the vectors. Let's go deselect all, then we can adjust all this other stuff. Just see what I can get with this eye. Obviously, I'll understand if I have to move some stuff around to make sense of it. You see, I've got like 100% there, no opacity, because I just couldn't afford that. I had to try and make sense of it. So yeah, I think I have kind of taken artistic liberties with the eyelash. But to me, that just works better at tying everything in. Having it like cut off halfway through the eye. I mean, maybe I have also messed up the eye totally, but it looks like an eye. Okay, so from what I'm seeing here, the eyelash might actually be the best way to line this up, though. Because at least we can see then the angle at which it's supposed to go at, kind of ordeal. Yes, so it'll be something like this. That's weird. Like, why are they showing different kind of eye proportions? I'm lost. I'm really just lost. Maybe the eyes were quickly drawn or something on the original. Maybe that's it. Like, I might know what's happening, actually. It may be trying to get perspective, and I'm just totally missing that. Actually, if I do that, it kind of lines up. So pivot that as well. Let's see how this works. Because if this looks as it should, like, I think I'm getting it now. I think it's all about the perspective of the whole image. So we've got that. That looks kind of like what I'm going for. So then we can presumably just do something like this. Because I think the left edge of the outer eye here is fine. I mean, I'm not deleting the other eye I've done, so that's a thing. So I think maybe we could stretch that out just a little. Okay, so I mean, I don't know if this is looking exactly correct. The thing is also the hair. Like, how am I supposed to know what happens behind that hair when I have not got hair on my character there blocking that part of the view? Maybe I should have used a different image as reference. I don't know. Wait, why isn't the 8-ball working? It worked before. Maybe it didn't feel like answering me. I don't know. That's just odd. I mean, I could try restarting it back too, but I don't need to do it right now. So if I... yeah, delid. No, that's what you do with CPUs. For, like, I think extreme cooling. I didn't do it, because I don't know, I'd whack it if I tried to delid this. That kind of works. I think it is getting it where I want it to. But I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it. So we've got that. Move that in. So we've got just trying something here. I might be seeing something again, like, you know, I'm guessing because that's what I've got left here. I think the whole eye though just needs to basically be made smaller. I feel like the eyes, if I do this properly, that's going to be one really serious place where this will just look so much crisper and sharper. Like, even if I downsize this to 480p, because the quality will just be so much more 2010s than it is 2000s. Maybe even 2020s. I don't know, I try to get good quality. Yeah, again, this hair is confusing me. Maybe if this is what I'm seeing correctly, and like this is the edge line of the eye, but it looks like the eyelash going down. You see, like, I don't know, should I go with that? It looks like that's supposed to end sooner, but I just don't imagine that looking great. Again, I can also take some kind of creative liberties here. In like, maybe this isn't how it's exactly supposed to look, but I think it'll look good this way. So I think make that a little wider. How does that look? I do not know. Something about this eye just looks too tall to me. So I do know there's always been some things that just are not clear. So maybe this is one of those things you could call it not quite clear. Instructions not clear, drew eye wrong. Oh, is that something I could use, maybe? So if we remove that, does that look any better? I feel like if anything, the far edge should be shorter than the like, near edge, is it? Is that the right term, even? Oh, I'm seeing something. So tricky. So yeah. I mean, I can kind of see something here, just not a whole lot of what I'm looking for. But as you can tell, this is going to take ages. I mean, I'll probably finish the stream about here, because I have done the ears for the most part. You see, basically when I do an next stream, I will have the eyes complete. I will check how many Guycoin I have. If this actually works. Anyway. Yeah, this is where I'm going to finish. Let's see what I got here. All these things I'm not using. I can delete these. I can do that much. Oops. Deleted the whole drawing. That's not what you want to do. At least I did have the undo button. Nah, the stream avatars is just not working by the looks of it. It was working earlier. I wanted to know how many Guycoin I had. Oh, I've got 1,000 Guycoin. Okay, that's at least a positive note to end on. Anyway, I'll leave it here for today. And I will say goodbye until another day.